Hey there, welcome back to my channel, Mess with Michelle. Today's video I'm sharing with you a full renovation of my downstairs entryway closet. Take a good look at this closet beforehand because it's the last time you're going to see it like this. I'm going to be giving it a full accent wall of shiplap, a custom made bench, and a beautiful open concept with beautiful hooks to hang my jackets. If you love these types of videos and you haven't already done so, make sure you consider hitting that subscribe button because I love to take you on my messy journey. I'm heading into day one of a 5-day project. I'm going to clear and clean out the space, and I'm first taking off the doors off the hinges, and once these doors are off and in the garage, they're not coming back because, as I mentioned, I'm going for a full open concept. My closet is just a standard average builder's closet. It has a shelf, a rod for your hangers, and that's about it. There's nothing special about it whatsoever. So when I was thinking of areas of my house I want to renovate, I thought this would be a perfect space to start with because it's the front area when you first walk into my house. So by just taking off the doors, it makes a huge impact because it widens up the hallway. And I also wanted to make an area of the hallway that's not only functional as a closet, but also a statement area and adds character to the hallway itself. So by taking off the doors and adding in this custom bench area, which you'll see a little bit later, it makes a huge impact when you first walk into the house. With the closet nice and clean, my next step is removing the rod as well as the shelf out of this closet. I'm taking the rod out. I'm not going to be putting it back in, but I will be repurposing the shelf a little bit later. So I'm just taking these out of my way so this way I have a nice clean slate to work in and begin my renovation project. Now that the shelf is out in the rod, I'm going to be taking off the trim work around those areas, and I just used a hammer as well as a screwdriver to gently ease off the wood off the wall. And I was so relieved to find out that it was not glued on, it was only nailed, so it made it a lot easier to remove and take it out of the closet area. We're heading into day 2. We're going to start the bench framework and install the shiplap wall. So we're using 2x4s as a framework and support for the bench. So Bobby just went ahead and cut the 2x4 to the size of the closet, and he's just screwing in the 2x4 to the studs behind the wall. So this way it can fully support weight when we're sitting on it and putting on our shoes. We decided to go ahead and start with the framework first rather than put the shiplap up. So this way we have an idea where the bench is going to start and just work around and install the shiplap around the framework of the bench area. I'm removing the original baseboards of the closet. I wanted to keep these in and put the shiplap on top, but it just didn't look right, so I'm glad that I took it out because it has a nice clean finish of shiplap all the way to the ceiling, all the way to the floor. I'm using a primed premium piece of shiplap. It's 5.5 in width and 10 feet in length, and I bought 25 of these all together for the entire closet. And this is tongue and groove, so it's perfect for this type of project. If you wanted something that's already measured out, that you get the shiplap look, but you don't have to really worry about the measurements too much in between because you already have the measurements taken into account for the tongue and groove part. So all we had to do was cut these boards with a miter saw to the length of the closet, and once they're cut, I went on and continued nailing in each board to the wall. And just to camouflage the nails as best as possible, I was trying my best to just nail into the tongue part of the shiplap, so this way the next board that went on top would hide the nails and you wouldn't be able to see them across the board to make a nice clean finish. Here's a quick check-in of the progress so far, and I've laid down the boards that were at the very bottom of the bench area and as well as the sides, and I'm going to continue up and finish off the rest of the wall. Originally, when I was thinking of ideas of an accent wall in this closet, I was actually drawn to using laminate flooring. I know it sounds a bit odd, but it has been done. I did see a few videos on this, and the reason being is because it's a bit more cost effective because you can get more panels in a box. So I brought it home and I put it in the space, and it just did not look right. It had white with a bit of gray in it, and it had the wood paneling kind of floor look, so it just didn't go with this type of theme in my house. So I went back to the drawing board, and I originally did see the shiplap when I was looking for laminate flooring, and when I saw the laminate flooring inside the closet, I just knew that the shiplap was the way to go. So I went back to the store, picked up my shiplap, and I'm just so happy that I made the decision because it looks great in this space. So here's a check-in of the shiplap wall, and it's now finally completed. It only took a few hours, and I think the overall look looks absolutely amazing. We did the shiplap all the way to the ceiling, all the way down to the floor, and just had a bit of cuts to do at the very top to make a nice clean look. So Bobby used a table saw to cut these pieces really thin to fit up in the molding area of the ceiling. So while I was continuing on with the wall, Bobby roughed in this bench, and it's a 66 by 21 inch bench made out of pine. So we just put it in here to make sure that it fit into the space. We're heading into day 3, and I'm going to stain the bench. We're going to finish the framework as well as install the hardware in the closet. So I'm using a Minwax gel stain in the color chestnut, and I'm just applying the stain on the board with a sponge. So this actually has really great coverage, the gel stain. I used a small can. I was able to do 2 liberal coats on the bench. So while you're applying it, you just want to make sure that you can apply it in the direction of the wood, and you're going to allow it to sit for minimum 3 minutes, so this way the stain gets saturated inside the wood. So once the 3 minutes is up, you're going to take a lint-free rag, and you're going to just rub off any of the excess stain off the top of your wood panel. As mentioned, I did 2 applications of the stain, and I waited about 26 hours in between the first coat of stain because I didn't want to apply it if it was wet, and I also wanted to have a deeper look. You don't necessarily have to apply a second coat, but I wanted to have a darker color, and the second coat did the trick. I'm going in now and I'm adding some trim at the very bottom of the shiplap wall between the floor and the wall, so this way it has a nice clean finish at the bottom, and this was actually salvaged from the previous baseboards that were in the closet. So this is the framework for the bench, and Bobby just added some 2x4s in the corners as well as the center, so this way it could take a lot of weight, and then I believe they're called joist hangers on the very corners to make sure everything's connected. So now just like that, magically all the hardware for the closet appears as well as the shelf. So the brackets as well as the hooks are from Rona, and the shelf is what I've used previously in the closet that we're able to reuse inside this space. So now going on to day 4, I'm going to seal the bench with Minwax fast drying polyurethane in the satin clear finish. So if you are using a bench or a table of some sort and it's going to be high traffic, you definitely want to seal it. And since we'll be sitting on this to put on our shoes, I want to make sure it had a good seal. So I actually ended up putting on 3 applications of the polyurethane. So if you are doing multiple coats, when you apply the second coat, you want to make sure that you're first sanding it with the 220 grit sandpaper and then making sure that all of the dust is off the surface before applying your second coat. So I just used a microfiber cloth, and I actually went in with a third coat because the second coat looked a little bit splotchy, so I want to make sure it had a nice clear clean finish. So now we're going into day 5, and finally after all these days I'm being able to install the bench. I was adding this in very gingerly because I didn't want to have any transfer from the stain of the bench onto the shiplap wall, and I can tell you I was successful because I did not get anything on that wall. So here's the bench before I start adding the front trim of how it looks put together, and I think it looks absolutely amazing. So now once again I'm just very carefully adding the front lip of the bench to make it look nice and full. Going on to the most exciting part is just adding little pops of decor inside the closet. Since this is open concept, I wanted to stay with the black and white theme, so I found these really great baskets from Bouclair, and this is where I'm going to be storing all my seasonal shoes such as sandals and maybe some shoes that I don't wear on a regular basis. I'm also adding this shoe tray underneath the bench. This way when we do get wet weather or snow, we're able to protect the floors, not have them directly on the hardwood flooring. I found these really great pillows from HomeSense, and I still wanted to make this area nice and inviting and cozy, so adding the soft textures of the pillows really helped pull everything together, and I'm really happy on the outcome. Now here are a few before pictures just to remind you how boring and just messy this closet is. And then now I'm moving on to the big reveal, and here's the after. It is such a breath of fresh air seeing this closet. I absolutely love the overall outcome. Just by removing the doors alone, it just opens up the hallway, and this space is so warm and cozy and very inviting, and it just adds so much character to the hallway. I couldn't be happier with the overall look and how everything turned out. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, remember to hit that like button, and also if you'd like to, please consider hitting that subscribe button because I love to take you on my messy journey. And for those who are new, just a reminder, I upload my videos every Sunday at 10 a.m. so I really hope that you can come back next week and join me. Until then, I will see you in my next video.